Good morning, students. This is Suman Chaswal, your English teacher. How are all of you? Good? I'm fine too, thank you. So today I'm going to, my next class is of, I had told you that my next class would be of continuity of modals, and today I'm doing the final class. Okay? And what were the ones which are left? Can anybody tell me? I have done can, could, may, would, should, could, then will, shall. Okay, and today I'm going to do must, ought to, need to, and used to. Okay, must, ought to, need to, and used to. So let's get started. So today is the last of our series of modals, and we are going to do, first we are going to do must. Next we are going to do ought to. Then we are going to do need to. And the last is used to. Okay. So today we are going to do the last of the modals, must, ought to, need to, and used to. Okay, let's take them one by one. Must. Now when do we use must? When there is a compulsion. Compulsion means compulsory. Okay. Like I had told you, should is obligation, duty. We should help the poor, we should respect our elders. But must is compulsion, compulsory. Okay. For example, I say two-wheeler. On a two-wheeler, it is compulsory to wear a helmet. Can we go without, on a two-wheeler without wearing a helmet? We go, we'll be fined, the police will catch us. Okay. So we will be fined. Okay. So we have to wear it. It is a compulsion, it's a law. It's a law that if you're on riding a two-wheeler, you have to wear your helmet. Okay. So if we break the law, we are fined. So it is a compulsion. We must wear helmets while driving a two-wheeler. Okay. Because it is a law. And if we break the law, we will be punished in the form of fine, etc. Okay. So it is important. So must is compulsion. A moral obligation, but a must. Okay. So let's do some examples. Compulsion. Number one, first, we must keep our promises. If we make a promise, it is compulsory that we must fulfill our promises. Take another one. We must obey the laws of our country. It's a compulsion. We cannot disobey the laws. If we disobey the laws, we will be punished. We will be arrested. So we must, it is compulsion. There's no choice. Okay? It's not a choice. You have to. So we must obey the laws of our country. Take another example. We must not tell lies. So it is again a compulsion that we must not tell lies. Okay? We should try to speak the truth always. Okay? So we must not tell lies. Then let's take a simpler one. We must not make a noise in the class. When we are in the class, in the school, we should behave properly and we should not make noise. Don't jumping around, shouting. Can we do that in school, in the class? No. Okay. So it is must. It is a compulsion. So whenever there is a must, compulsion, like in the library, we must keep silence. Okay, because it is compulsion in library. First rule is that everybody should be silent. no talking, no making any sound. Okay, because everybody is reading, studying. Okay, so it has to be, this is the most silent place is a library. Okay, so we must keep silence in the library. So it's a compulsion. Okay, so whenever there is a compulsion, we use must. Okay, students, and also we use for a fixed determination. When we have a determination, we have determined that we have to do this, then a fixed determination, then we also use must. For example, I must have my money back. For example, I have given money to somebody, so what will I say? That money I have to take it back because she has borrowed it from me. So I must have my money back. Means the money that she has taken from me, she has borrowed from me, she must return it back to me. And if she doesn't, I have to tell her forcefully that please, you must return my money. Okay, so I must have my money back. Then I must take my mom, my mother to the hospital. Okay, because my mother is sick, she's not feeling well, so it is my moral duty to take her to the doctor. So I must take my mother to the hospital to show to a doctor. It is a moral obligation, determination that my mother is not well, I have to take her to the hospital. Okay, so when we have some fixed determination, we use must. Earlier I told you, for a compulsion we use must, and now for a fixed determination. Next, duty. A duty. Duty, another word for duty is obligation. For example, let's take an example. A soldier must fight for his country. A soldier must fight for his country. Okay? Because it is the duty of a soldier. What is the duty of a soldier? To fight for it, to protect his country, to protect his countrymen. So, a soldier must fight for his country. Try to frame one of yourselves also duty. Okay, we all must do our duty. As citizens of India, our duty is to, what is our duty? To keep our country clean, to obey and respect the obey the government decisions, to respect the national flag. You remember, whenever the national flag plays, we must always stand straight. This is our respect, it's our duty. We must stand up and, give respect to the flag and to the national anthem whenever it plays. Okay, so this is our duty. Okay, so when it's a duty, then also we use must. Take another example. Everyone must do his duty. It is everyone must do his duty. Okay, so we use must. So must is a degree. See, should is also, we should, we ought to, but must is a compulsion. Compulsory, then we use must. Okay, so understood, students? So must is a compulsion, a fixed determination, or a duty obligation. Okay, when we use, and also remember, it is a higher degree of should. We should respect our elders. We must respect our elders. Compulsion, because in this thing, we must obey our elders. We must respect them. Must take care of them. Okay, so that is a moral obligation. Is it clear? Is it clear, all of you? Now we go to the next one. Ought to. Now let's do the next one, that is ought to. Now this is very this thing, because it gives you the ought to, gives you the this thing. Suppose I give we to help the poor. This to gives us that it cannot be we should to help the poor. Can we write should here? No. The word is to, so it has to be we ought to help the poor. Okay, so that is an indication, it gives us a clue. So ought to also means should. So this word should, the next higher thing is ought to, and the third one is, can anybody tell? Must. Very good. So all of them mean the same, but the degree increases. Should, next is ought to, and third is must. They mean the same. It's an obligation, a duty, okay, but the degree becomes higher. So should, ought to, must. Is it clear? And used in various ways. So first is a moral obligation. What is moral obligation? A duty. So what is that? We ought to love our neighbors. This is our moral obligation. We ought to love our neighbors. And the same way, like I told you, we can also use we should love our neighbors. We must love our neighbors. Okay? So it becomes the same. So but here when we write to, so we know we have to do ought to. But you should know it means the same. Should, ought to, must. The degree becomes high, level becomes higher. Okay? Then, like I had told you, for would have in the past. For the past also we can use. Like we said, I should have worked hard. Okay? In the past. In the same way past I said, we can say you ought to, and with that we use have. You ought to have helped her. And if we say for should, you should have helped her in the past. Okay? So in the same way, ought to also in the past, then we have to use have with it. You ought to have helped her. You ought to have learned your lesson. You ought to have worked hard. Okay? So anything in the past, we use ought to with have. And the same way should we use with have. Should have. You should have worked hard. You should have helped her yesterday. Okay? So the same way we use in the past, you ought to have helped her. So here I tell you, it's a moral obligation. We ought to love our neighbors. We ought to respect our elders. We ought to obey the school rules. Okay? We ought to obey our teachers. And in the way past, something in the past we have to say, then you ought to have helped her. So with that we have to use have. Okay? Is it clear, students? Good. Next is need to. When do we say need to? Need to means requirement. Requirement. Okay? Now, need to will we say? It has the third part. I need to work harder. Means I require to work hard. I need to work harder. Means I have scored 60%. If I want 80% marks, I need to work harder. Okay? So it is a need to is when do we use? When there is a requirement. Okay? He needs to. You know, with he, third person, we have to use S. He needs to. Same we can use work harder. Or let's make another sentence. He needs to improve his handwriting. Means there is a requirement of His requirement is to improve. He doesn't have a good handwriting, so it is required that he should improve his handwriting. So how do we say? He needs to improve his handwriting. Teachers, especially when parent-teacher meeting, your child needs to learn the spelling. Your child needs to improve his handwriting. Your child needs to concentrate. So in the school, in the parent-teacher meeting, teachers are after the students and they keep on complaining to the parents. Okay, so this is a trend. Okay, so you use thing. And suppose we only need to use need, then we can say I can use it this way also. I need a holiday. Means I require a holiday. She needs rest. Okay, but that becomes a verb. But in a modal we use need to. Okay, so need to is a requirement. I need to work harder. He needs to improve his handwriting. And if we want to use it other way without to, I need a holiday. I need some rest. I need what you call spices in my kitchen. I need to buy the vegetables. I need to buy the fruits. Okay, so that is my requirement. Okay, and the last one, used to. Used to is something done in the past. Something done in the past is called used to. And whenever we use used to means now I don't do that. Whatever I did was in the past, but the same I am not doing now. Then we use used to. For example, I used to walk 5 kilometers a day. That means in the past I used to walk. I had stamina, I was young, but it means now I don't or now I can't. So whenever you want to say something that you have done in the past, but now you are not able to do, then we use used to. Understood, students? So used to is something done in the past. I used to drink a glass of milk every day. That means now I don't. Okay? I used to swim. That means now I don't. Okay? So whatever you have done in the past but you are not continuing in the present, then we use used to. Okay? So let's do some examples. She used to play chess before marriage. That means now she is married and she is not playing chess anymore. She used to play chess before marriage. That means she doesn't play it now. She doesn't play chess now after her marriage. Used to, so past. Okay? So we use is they used to go swimming every morning. Means what? They used to go swimming every morning. Means what? They used to go swimming, but now they don't. They have been doing that in the past, but now they don't. She used to go to the temple every Monday. She used to go to the temple every Monday. That means she doesn't go now. Okay? She used to go in the past, but now she doesn't. Okay? Take another one. Now this is very nice. Life is not what especially our old parents always say, of grandparents, life is not what it used to be. You will always hear grandparents, old parents, old people complaining. In our time, that life was like this, but now it's not like that. Okay? That means life is not what, means today, the life is not what it used to be. Means in the past, life was very fun, easy, interesting, but now the life has changed. A lot of changes have come. Life has become very fast. Earlier life was very simple. Okay, people were not so busy, and there were no such devices, the internet, the computers and mobiles and all that. So life was very simple, steady and all. But today it's a what do we call this? A rat race. Busy, 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 busy. All the time busy, busy. Doing this, doing that. You're running behind time. So life is not what it used to be. Means in the past life was very relaxing. Okay. But now it is fast paced. Okay. So everything has become fast. Trains have become fast, and these expresses and bullet trains and metros and all. Where were they at that time? The slow trains, buses and all that. But now everything has become very fast. People have become very busy. So life is not what it used to be. Okay. So when used to, when we use in the past. Whatever was there means life is not like that now. What it was in the past. It has changed. So students, today I have given you 4 modals, that is must, ought to, need to and used to. Okay. So I have completed all the modals. So let's go through, quickly run through them. Will, shall. Okay. May, can. Could, would, should. Okay. And today we done must, ought to, need to and used to. Okay. Will, shall, future. May, can, probability. Could, would, should is the past of can, will and shall, but also used for obligation. Must is compulsion. Ought to is a modal obligation. Need to is requirement. And used to is past. So these were the modals that we have learned. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 2, 3 more there too, but I don't want to go into that to confuse you. Okay. So will, shall, may, can, could, would, should, must, ought to, need to, used to. And one other I can tell you, the past of may is might. Again, might is M-I-G-H-T. It is a probability. It might rain today. It may rain today. It might rain. Probability. Okay. Possibility. So, he might come to my house. That means he may come or he may not come. So, we use might. Okay. So, for a possibility or probability. Okay. So, we can add one here. Might. Okay. So, in all, these are the what you call modals. And next class I will give you a mixed bag to fill in these, an exercise where you have to fill in the modals. And that after you fill in those, you will see that you have become quite perfect. And with more practice, you will become perfect, because what do I say? Always say, practice makes a man perfect. And you can do it. Students, you can do it. Just practice, follow what I have told you and see. And for those students appearing for exams, you will score 100% marks. That is my assurity and guarantee. Only you need to do little practice. Okay, students? So, today was my final class of modals. I hope please go through all the 3-4 videos that I have uploaded, and you can revise through them, practice through them. And if you have any problems, you can write in the comment section that and I can help you to clear your doubts. Okay. So thank you students, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. My subscribers are really increasing, my viewers are increasing, and I'm very happy that more and more students, people around India, and I was so surprised from places like Mexico, US, Indonesia, Vietnam, and many other places. People, UAE, are watching my videos, and it is helping them. So I'm so happy that I've been helped to all of them, and I want that everybody should learn and help themselves. Okay, so thank you once again, and God bless all of you.